It's now Redbox and Netflix, everyone's getting into this whole thing of creating content.
Yeah.
Even Comcast with the purchase of NBC.
Right.
So where do you position pizza makers?
Yeah, that's our, the way they've built these distribution models, and for example, in Netflix, and they are producing their own shows. So they're just kind of, taking out the middleman, the cable company altogether. So pizza makers would be ideal for a Netflix, something like that. Talk to Comedy Central, perhaps, too. But we're going to keep doing it our way. We've built an incredibly loyal audience, and I'd like to keep putting it out to the public for free as long as we can. But there may come a time where they have to download it for 99 cents for an episode. Now, another thing, Joe, which I think which really elevates us from other programming is we use all Screen Actors Guild members. We're under a SAG contract.
But you can still give it away free.
Yeah.
Because we only talk about free things here. We don't talk about anything.
No, it's all free. It's been free for 3 years, continues to be, and
So here's an idea.
there you go. And I caught you to say meteor, too. I heard him say meteor.
Like a meteor shower,
there
a
you go.
shower of
Yeah.
media.
Yeah, right.
Mass Access, are you aware of it?
Mass Access.
It's
What
a
is it?
nonprofit that oversees Massachusetts Acts, doesn't oversee, but it's a club, if you will. And if you join, you can then upload your show for all the access stations if they need programming to download and broadcast.
No kidding, yeah.
Now there's PEG Access, which is across the country, but PEG Access is a little more difficult. It's a national thing. You want to go with Mass Access right now, and just look it up online, Mass Access, and then uploading your
Check it out.
pizza makers.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
But time them.
Yeah.
Do one a month, since you've got 7 right now.
Right.
So make a big deal out of it, like I did with the Patch thing. Isn't that cool?
That was a great day. That was,
Everyone
wow, that
can
was-
blog on Patch.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So you create your Patch blog, and then you say, pizza makers coming to Mass Access.
Right.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that because the way the contract states that it can only air on certain parts and everything. So everything is based off of our YouTube channel, but I certainly could share it that way too. And
Well, you could always do it, just ask all the actors, hey, can we do one for public access?
Right.
Yeah, we could do
Now,
that.
going in, if you came in here, just know that everyone knows that, hey, this is the access version.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know if contracts would cover that. It actually does get very
That's why
complicated.
God made amendments.
I never even heard of that though. I'll definitely check that out.
Mass Access?
Mass
Yeah.
Access.
Well,
.org, is that a .org or .com?
Don't know, but you put it in Google, it comes up.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, have you thought of a public access tour, just like you're here going to other stations to talk about it?
I've been on a few other stations. Yes, absolutely.
And Somerville opened a radio station.
I didn't know that. No.
So SCAT is in Union Square?
Oh, yeah.
So in the firehouse.
Wow.
In there, they have built a radio station, so there's a good radio. You could go on, and then you get audio on CD. At least you've got.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that.
That's good. That's good, yeah.
Well, it's sort of like WMFO at Tufts.
Yeah, I saw that. They have meetings and movies there too.
Yeah, but MFO is 91.5. They're a station, and they reach down. They go south. So
Yeah.
because MLN Milton and UML Lowell are all 91.5, the FCC designates them the direction they go in, and they're all about 100 watts, maybe 250.
Yeah.
They don't
So
go very far.
MFO will go down to the Boston Globe, and it goes out to the water. So if you're driving down 93, you
Yeah.
can get MFO.
Yeah, right.
You go up to Woburn, you lose it.
Yeah,
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a directional signal.
Yeah.
But it's on the internet, so everyone's on the
Sure.
internet now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I get all excited talking about this.
You're a radio guy too? You've done radio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called visual radio because I took the radio show and put it here.
That's great. This is a good
I was a
station.
producer at 93.7 WCGY for Harvey Warfield. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Back in the day, he was at ZLX. Then we went to
Right, right.
CGY. So I produced his show for a year and a half, and I believe we went to #1 on Sunday nights because Sunday nights aren't generally rated because the ratings they want are Monday through Friday, morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
Right.
We had this great show called Boston Music Showcase. So we had a playlist of top 40, and the bands have mailing lists. So Trevor Gowdy, Kirk Gowdy?
Yeah.
Kirk Gowdy's CGY, Kirk
Right,
Gowdy
yeah.
Radio.
That's right, yeah.
So Kurt owned the station, so Trevor, his son, was running it, and they had this P.O. box something or other in Boston. So we give it out on the air, and all the bands started putting it on their mailing lists to their thousands of fans, and all of a sudden we were getting thousands of postcards voting for the songs. And Trevor comes back from the post office. He couldn't believe it. It went from 30 letters to 2,000.
Yeah, wow.
And he'd bring them in, and then we would see all these letters, and we would tabulate them all, and we'd have our top 40. It was pretty amazing.
Wow, that's fantastic.
All before the internet. Imagine that.
It was before the internet.
Way before the internet.
Because what I did, they let me use the Xerox machine. So we would, Harvey and his wife would put it on the computer, Boston Music Showcase. We'd do the top 40. We'd put it on the Xerox machine. I'd bang out 1,000 of them, We'd give them the bands. They'd be printing them up because their name's on it.
Yeah.
It'd go out to their fans. And we had created this incredible network pre-internet.
Incredible.
I mean, computers were around.
Yeah.
But the web wasn't in, it was 91.
Wow.
92 and 93.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
there for that 3-year period. It was pretty phenomenal. And the great thing about our show is, God bless the local music shows. They're really important. AAF Carmelita does a wonderful job.
Yep.
But they play so much local music. If you're not in tune with it, it's hard to listen to brand new stuff.
Right.
We made sure, like every other song, we played Aerosmith, Boston, The Cars, Jay Giles. So we'd play so many album tracks, so you would hear a professional, organic
recognizable.
record.
Good,
Yeah.
that's good.
And then you'd hear new music, then a new song, and it worked. We went to
93.7,
Good, you got a
right?
little variety there.
Harvey's wife told me,
good.
she said Arbitron, we went to #1 on
Wow.
Sunday nights,
Beautiful.
which
Yeah,
is great
there-
for the station.
There should be more shows like that.
And we were 4 hours. We worked
Yeah.
really hard. We worked, a 4-hour show,
Yeah.
Sunday from 6 to 10. And
Perfect time for it.
Yep.
Perfect time for something like that.
Yep.
I said to the program director, the Black Crows are hot. I was consulting with him. He'd call me up for advice, and I'd say, play 3 Black Crows songs. You're crazy. No radio station plays 3 songs. I said, we're on the outside of the 495 belt. We're not in Boston. We don't have to abide by the radio unwritten rules.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't do it, Joe. I'm in the station. I'm looking at the playlist. I laughed. 3 Black Crows songs. He took my advice. He must have said, Joe's right. Let's push the envelope.
great.
Because they were hot. And no one could play them except for us because we were up far enough. We're reaching into New Hampshire, so when you're away from Boston, you can play with the playlist.
I think the transmitter was in Lawrence. Because then they became Star 93.7.
Now they're the sports station, EEI. They probably got the relay thing. I know that Kirk Gowdy was looking at Stoneham because I think it was the lowest he could bring it to be Lawrence, Boston.
I think Middleton. They were trying to bring it to Middleton.
I think they were looking at Stoneham as like the closest they could get.
I love a man who talks towers. Now
Yeah,
we're
that's
talking
great,
here.
yeah.
We can talk about the skip in a little while. How, I used to work on this radio station in Hyannis, but I didn't live in Hyannis. I lived in Melrose, all right? The only way I could get the station is if I drove to Revere Beach. So here I am, I worked in Hyannis, lived in Melrose, and I drove to Revere Beach so the signal would skip up. And people would say, Chris, have you ever seen a girl naked?
I had to see you when you were on the radio. Remember in Lawrence, I had to drive up 93 to hear you?
That's right.
Remember when I called you?
Oh, that's right.
But some of the signals bounce off the water.
That's right.
Like MFO, 91.5, the tough signal bounces off the water.
The skip.
WNR, that AM station that Herbert Hoffman owned, the Hoffman building, the
Yeah.
Hoffman Jeans, Landlubber Jeans.
Yeah, right.
He had a station, UNR, that bounced off the water.
That was on the Charlestown Bridge, right?
Very good,
Right on the,
very good.
Right on that bridge, right near the north there.
I don't
yeah.
know where it is now, maybe it's still
Well,
there.
that's
Wow, I didn't even
that's
know
the
that.
Converse building. Converse bought that building.
Wow.
Converse
From
sneakers.
Hoffman, it was the Hoffman building.
The Hoffman building, exactly.
Hoffman owned the station, he
think it
had
was-
BOS.
Yeah, it was like 150 North Washington or something like that. Yeah.
He owned WBOS,
Yep.
and then he had UNR, and then BOS he sold to Greater Media. But that was the WBOS.
Yeah. I remember when they were there. Yeah.
They kept those call letters for years because it was Boston.
Right.
So, it's still BOS now, or is it's like, it's automated now?
Yeah.
What, 92.9?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much dropping
still BOS
liners, and it's WBOS, and they're essentially playing. I personally like what they're doing now. They're playing like some stuff from early 90s, mid 90s, and they play some new stuff too. but they don't really have any live jocks.
No, they got rid of them all. And
Yeah.
that's the wave of the future because they're just corporations. They want the bottom line.
And I think that stinks. I do some
No
film.
personality.
I like community full service radio. All right, local. I mean, that's what you need. You know what I mean?
That is what you need.
I'd love to hear like a local station. There used to be a great station up in my neck of the woods in North Shore, WESX in Salem.
Yep.
Probably.
I remember it.
There's a great station in Newburyport, WNBP, in Newburyport.
Yep.
And they'll talk about the minor car accidents that happened on the overnight in the news. You know what I mean? This is what happened. And, they have, they'll interview the mayor, they'll interview some councilmen. I like local radio. And I think that's how radio will win locally now is local issues.
They're going to have to because the internet has taken over. And we only have a couple of minutes left, but I'll give
Yeah.
a quick example. Simmons College, keep this in mind. November, I do a thing at Simmons College where I talk to the college kids about radio. It's the oldest college radio convention in the world.
Really?
The IBS. They had the national
yeah.
was this Saturday. I didn't go. I usually go to New York. So November, you could be on my panel, and we talk about radio to the
yeah,
kids.
Great, yeah.
Great. I've advised for 2 college stations.
Which are
Well, it was for Newbury College and Bunker Hill Community College. So I taught there. I was a professor there, and I was also their advisor to the station.
and
So-
Paul is the guy over at Bunker Hill in the student activities. Paul.
Oh, yeah, geez, his name slips my mind. Of course, yep.
Because, but anyways, IBS, Intercollegiate
Oh, yeah.
Broadcasting System, in Simmons in November. We talked to the kids, and the Simmons jock said to me, we do Twitter, and we had a couple of thousand listeners for some Canadian act, and I'm like, my God, MFO doesn't get that.
Yeah.
A lot of only ERS
Yeah.
probably, but they had crashed the system. They had so many listeners because they had a big
Yeah, right,
Canadian
right.
personality.
Yep.
And they Twitter it, and these college kids are really plugged into Twitter
Everything is on the iPhone.
and
now.
online. So local radio, I think, is going to have to come back to local because the college kids are finding audiences. President Obama had a huge audience on the internet with Will Ferrell's thing, the comedy thing.
Oh, yeah.
That got more viewers, right
Yeah,
away.
the Zach Galifianakis thing. Yeah, that's right, because it was online.
And they said it got more than the Tonight Show would have.
Right.
It's stunning.
It's amazing.
People are glued to their phones. That's it. They're glued to their
Everything's
phones.
done on the phone, everything. You have the
No.
email, the Facebook, you got Twitter, you got your address book, you got everything on there. All your music and even movies.
Well, know this. When you talk into your mics, it goes into the phone. So our next guest can talk to you
Okay.
about War of the Robots.
Oh, good.
Can we talk about Purple Rain, too? One of my all-time favorite movies.
After you talk about War of the Robots,
He's good friends with Prince.
You like Hall & Oates, Joe?
They're good.
All in oatmeal.
Vito, talking about movies.
Hey, Frank.
How's it going, Joe?
I don't know.
You don't know. Oh, should I tell you?
Wait a minute. Say hi.
Oh, hi, Frank. This is our Frankie Imbergamo.
How's it going, Frank?
All right, how you doing?
Hi, it's Chris Palermo.
How's it going?
You met Frank about 6 months ago, a year ago?
About a year ago, maybe?
Year ago. He was on.
Okay.
He's in the Equalizer movie coming out.
Oh, wow. What's he play?
No, I just play like a homeowner. I'm like a shopper. It was a small part. It wasn't really a big part.
Okay.
That what I was talking to you last time, I was in RIPD. I was playing a police officer. We spoke about that.
All right.
And we spoke about The Fighter and a few other movies, yeah.